Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Navtastic, a podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Mr. Fernandes, and
I'm Chris Jayawardena. Hello.
we're about to review I Wonder What Became of Sal. It's from season 7 of Laverne and Shirley, directed by Tom Trippovich, and written by Mark Rothman. This probably has some facts about both of them coming up.
Indeed, yes. Especially Rothman. That's an interesting one. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've spoken about Mr. Rothman before. He's a great talking head in the Laverne and Shirley biography episode. He's very funny in that. So, this is what the episode's about. Laverne season 1 fiancé, Sal Malina, tracks her down in Los Angeles after pumping into Carmine while the latter is delivering a singing telegram in the Foremost Country Club. It turns out he's worth thousands now, and is still bearing a torch for Laverne. Having experienced years of romantic and sexual foibles, Laverne's suddenly a whole lot more amenable to seeing Sal again. And when he pops the question over a drunken sushi dinner, she says yes. But she and Sal still don't have that all-necessary spark between them. Will she ignore her goosebump-free existence and go for it with Sal anyway? What do you think about this one?
How much was cut from this?
Yeah. Laverne and Sal come in from their drunken sushi dinner with her singing Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And that's on the DVD. There's a lot of stuff that got chopped out in a desperate attempt to save money, song royalty-wise, and thus we end up with big old gaps in the narrative. We do not have proper establishment in this edit that Laverne is even drunk. Mm-hmm. She says yes to him because of that, and that's
the
that.
The only thing we have is, could you say that in my sober ear, and her body language.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fully established in the Nick at Night version, which eventually I'm going to finish ripping. I've got to rip that episode.
So, yeah. The bones for a great episode, one of the best, is here. The bones of it's there. There is not enough flesh. There's not enough meat on that bone. This is Uncle Frank at stage 2.
Honestly, what it really, really needs is a little more time to marinate. This isn't an absolute favorite either. There's some really, really great stuff in it. Mm-hmm. I think the scene at the end where Laverne and Sal are in the apartment, she's desperately trying to convince him to give her goosebumps somehow. And she's just desperate to marry this guy, even though she does not have those earth-shaking feelings for him. Just to basically say she's married to a nice guy, she can give her father grandchildren, he'll shut up. A lot of my notes, by the way, in this episode are "Shut up, Frank."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That line about my and here's to my grandson who should have been 9 years old by now. I would have loved if that scene him in capped with the two of them giving each other a look, sort of like stay out of our business, and they both splash him with the wine. I think that would have been good.
Yeah.
Because, and the thing that's interesting, but mind you, I understand why, because that is the kind of thing, that is the type of behavior that Sal could do that would give Laverne goosebumps. Because the interesting thing about Sal as a character, and I will say, Paul Sylvan was fine in the first performance we saw him in season 1, but here he is dynamite. I loved his performance in this. I mean, my first note here is he's back in Pog form, which in the Twitch community saying it's Poggers, as it were.
Yeah,
and so which is to say he's very good. And he definitely loves theater. He was a big time. He actually was apparently in the original Broadway cast of Jesus Christ Superstar.
No way. That's cool.
So he was the actor is very passionate, and clearly there's passion in this performance. And what frustrates me about the character, I understand why it's doing this, and where but it's like. She even says to him, do something to give me goosebumps.
Yeah.
And it's like, you begin to see this guy is he's too safe.
Yeah.
They're safe and secure and wholesome and all those different, terms and adjectives and etc. But then there's a point when you're too conservative and you're doing everything. Because, I mean, think about it. He took his dad's business from a few stores in Milwaukee to a national franchise of light bulb stores.
Yeah.
This guy is a smart, shrewd businessman to pull that kind of thing off.
Yeah. It's like Sonny in that he's nice, he's very polite, he's very smart, he's very good at what he does, but that ding just doesn't happen for Laverne. The ding happened with her and Sonny, but something had to have happened to make that fizzle out, then make them break up, besides backstage bullshit.
Right.
But, yeah. But something in the universe had to happen to make everything fizzle out. And she sits there lamenting her own foolishness that bikers and hoodlums give her goosebumps aplenty. And a wonderful, nice guy like Sal can't do it. And yes, you feel bad for her.
I do. But here's the interesting thing. She didn't take it. Like he goes, it's like, well, that's okay. I'll have Carlisle get the plane going. I'll just fly off to Paris. Which, first of all, this means the convention he was going to, he's going to skip entirely. Which is like he's going to blow off the reason he even came to the West Coast to just go to Paris to drown his sorrows. Which is like, that should have been the moment that she looks at her arm and goes, ah, crap, and and as he's already out the door but then realizing, what is it I have to do to grow? And that's what I mean about the bones of a great episode and great moments are there. Yeah. And they're just not, there's not enough, as you're saying. I think marinate's a good word, I think, for elements of the script, especially because they spend really the better part of the first 15 minutes just getting us up to speed by replaying scenes from the Falter at the Altar. Yeah. And to get us up to speed, which I feel like almost is a waste of time. It doesn't allow us to soak in the current story. The only thing they needed to do was play a little bit of that of Shirley saying no. They didn't need 2 clips. They needed 1 clip, because in the end, Shirley's opinion about the relationship doesn't matter in this juncture. Yeah, because she doesn't interfere this time. Mm-mm. She is barely in it. Yeah, she's practically trying to throw Laverne at it. He's yeah. At this point, she's like, go. Just pitches him at the guy. Pitches her right at the dude. And that's the end. She's just trying. That's the end of Shirley's appearance in this episode. She arrives to throw them together, and then she's really excited to go to the wedding with them. And then all of a sudden, when it's Laverne who lowers the boom, he realizes she wants more. Yeah. She wants excitement and a good guy and everything. So, but sometimes you don't get that lucky. So sometimes you've got to, in the end, make an adjustment. But I understand why she wouldn't want to. Yeah, it's one of those. I understand Laverne's choice. I guess what I feel is that because of this being very much a one-off episode, because I can see if he was saying, I'm getting to the point that I don't have a lot of choices left. I have got to do this now or never. Yeah. If that was the way it was framed, and sort of him saying, listen, I can't, I can't, if it's the heartbreak again, I can't do this again. I can't come back a third time. But, because I've been in that position where it's heartbreak enough times, and it's okay, that's it. I mean, I'm trying to make this work, and I got to walk away from it. Because of the way it's just kind of the door is still partly open. It's Laverne, just go to see what he's like in Paris. He's boring because he's in his suit, he's hanging out with his chauffeur, he's being the businessman, he's trying to be on good behavior. When you're off in another country and you're in the hotel room, you're going to get a lot more honest with who you really are. Which, not to mention, is part of the issue also with Laverne and Sal anyways. They never really spent much time getting to know each other domestically. Yeah, they don't spend a lot of time alone. Yeah. Not to mention, I mean, he might be kind of boring and conservative as a businessman. We have no idea what he's like in the bedroom, I mean, this might be a guy that is, pretty wild and playful and adventurous. And that becomes something that he bonds with her, too, because the thing I really do love about Sal in this performance, God, he loves Laverne so much. She is the one that, I like how he said he tried to recapture that same spark with other women, and he said, I enjoyed trying, but he would trade all those experiences just to be with her. That's deep. Yeah, he put his career at risk. Yeah. Everything. He put everything at risk and to have a relationship with her. And she just couldn't do it. She can't bring herself to do it. She can't bring herself to be with someone who she's not excited to see every day. Yeah. I can almost imagine what it would have been like. She married this guy. She spends years having mediocre sex with him. She has a couple of kids.
And then in the end, they probably end up leaving each other once the swinging 60s come in.
Yeah.
And then she's a divorced Catholic. Every Frank DeFazio's nightmare. Divorced Catholic.
Right. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, man.
Shut up! I had the grandson. You didn't have the grandson and stay in the marriage.
Yep. But anyway, so it's a mixed bag of an episode, but I enjoy the parts that I enjoy quite a bit. I love seeing Paul in there as Sal.
Yeah.
Beans Morocco reappearing as Carlisle the chauffeur. He's credited here, by the way, folks, as Dan Barrows. We mentioned this is his second appearance on the show. He was Bill, the guy from City Hall in Haunted House, the historian. And unfortunately, this is his last time we'll see him. But we mentioned him popping up in the opening scene of Used Cars.
Yeah.
I'll get to other actor details later, but but him and those two elements pop out really well. The whole the trading of slaps, slap over the head, slap onto his head, and then eventually he's like, I'm gonna go to the car, and then Carmine coming up with it's like, he calls it a car, it's a Rolls Royce.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah. There's like I said, there's elements here that I enjoy. And I understand, I like the ethos of what this does, which is establish firmly that Laverne's call was correct in the first place.
Yeah.
That no matter how many years have passed, how much she's experienced, how many men she has been with, so to speak, she would not go back, undo it, have it be a virgin bride, be with Sal, marry him, and experience idle-rich wifelyhood.
Right.
Because she likes him, she loves him, but she's not in love with him. She does not feel that special spark, so to speak. So, yeah. She's not going to settle for anything less.
Exactly. And I do love the remark after they come back from the flashback that, Shirley is saying, was just stating the facts. It's calling the milkman Joe isn't exactly what I'd call stating the facts, Cheryl. Oh, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, how are we feeling about Shirley Feeney, attorney at law, with her She-Hulk green mask there?
One day she will be stronger and taller than 12 sequoias. She will raise 100 cats in her embrace, and she will lift an ice cream truck over her head. I love that she is so wrapped up in this news that she almost walks out of the house in it. This is very Shirley.
It's very Shirley. It's very cute. And and I also do like the outfits the two of them wear. It's quite nice.
Yeah. They both look great. As always, Penny looks great. Cindy looks great. Two of them look good in this episode. It's very nice. But who the heck is the lowest that Shirley is talking to on the phone?
I don't know, but I do worry about the age or mental stability of that person.
Yeah. I'm concerned that she is going to burn down her home and everybody in it trying to cook.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's like you wonder if it's like somebody who works at Bardwell's or something with them.
Possibly. Either that or it's an old friend from Milwaukee or an older person that she's friends with. All of that's possible.
Or here's a thought. It's an Angora Deb.
Possibly. So that's really, really bad at cooking. All possible. All absolutely possible. Also, Laverne, let me propose to you twice. That still counts. Yep.
And we mentioned, you and I mentioned this today when we were talking about this episode. Randy, he didn't say it, but it still counts.
He didn't say it, but he wanted to, and she knew, and she said she would have said yes.
Yep.
So that counts.
Oh, yeah. That
they
totally counts.
They would have gotten married had he lived. He didn't need to really actually just say the words. So. I don't know why. You knew Rothman that knew the history. It takes 2 seconds to go, oh, yeah.
Yep. I mean, and this is...
She could have said, well, Lenny doesn't count or something.
Falter at the Altar isn't even the episode he wrote. He wrote The Bachelor Party. This is the second writing credit he even has for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He was like a script consultant or in the writer's room for 60 episodes.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe this is why Rothman just started doing some work in the theater in the 2000s, including The Brain from Planet X, which I mentioned only because I love that title. But
it's a great title.
Yeah, it's a weird. Those little inconsistencies are kind of sad. Where it's like the continuity is there but broken. Because it makes you
Yeah.
wonder if, like, does Luke Before You Leap not count? Does Laverne's crush not count? Sorry, not Laverne's crush. Lenny's crush. Does that not count? It's, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. All of those things should count to Laverne to some degree, even if Lenny's just a friend.
Yep. They should.
Like, and definitely Randy would count. Definitely Randy at minimum would count.
At minimum, Randy would count. Unless they were trying to, like, it's like, yeah, stay on their underwear.
She's only been almost married once, we swear.
Only once, we swear. That does make her weird for how suddenly becoming a bimbo.
God. There will be more bimboiness later. I did like the line, "The bum who dumped my daughter." That was good. Frank being protective, and
That
then
was great.
then immediately wheeling around when he was corrected on the subject.
And I love he so calmly says, "Mr. DeFazio, your daughter
Yeah.
dumped me." It's like, oh, then you're forgiven.
You're forgiven. You're welcome in my family.
And then I love the mistaken identity with poor Carlisle. I didn't like that joke that much, but I did love the when Frank comes back. It's like, oh, that's why she didn't marry us. She's stupid.
That was my first "shut up, Frank" on the page.
Yeah. Frank needs
Even
a
if
couple.
Laverne calls herself stupid. Yeah. Oh my God. I love that Laverne, and she's going off to get married in Vegas, and she's wearing basically her cha-cha dress that was her fancy dress from Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like even her fanciest clothing. It's not even her church clothing.
Yeah.
She's just putting this on. She's gonna, run off with her suitcase to go get married to this guy. I love that Shirley's, so on board. She's not even stepping in or saying a single thing. But that one scene, your heart's going all the time. Like, how would Laverne know that feel? I guess because other guys are giving their goosebumps. They've just all imploded. I guess she knows from Randy.
I think she knows
What
from
it feels
Randy.
like.
And Sonny, too, I think. Because Sonny,
I guess.
the fear of losing Sonny was so real and so sudden.
Yeah.
I think she knows that sort of pitter-patter. Because, he was,
Yeah.
it's...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I think that's also what it comes down to. We've talked about this before with Laverne, is that there's a certain element of danger and adventure that she really likes. There's this tomboy aspect that she sort of requires, and that it's not that it's masculine, it's adventure. And Sal, as I said, he's very calm, astute, careful.
Yes.
He's like a audiobook that puts you to sleep very
He's
carefully.
huge.
And which, don't be wrong, it's great for a lullaby. It's great for some relationships, and there are people that is what gives them the goosebumps. But Laverne needs a little pop and pizzazz. She needs somebody that's gonna, like, again, to come back to her, do something, give me goosebumps, and it's like, dude, this is your cue. You either strip naked right now, strip her naked right now, or at the very least pick her up off of her feet and say, I have a private jet. We're going anywhere you want to go, and we'll be back by dawn.
Yeah. If any of those things don't twig her, kind of give her goosebumps, then it's a lost cause.
Exactly.
Lost cause it is. Lost cause it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is a great scene. It's beautifully acted, beautifully paced, beautifully shot. I really like it. I really, really like that one. And Laverne's desperate will move to Alaska. Her guilt of the fact that she's wasting this guy's time, and that he should be everything she wants, and yet, no.
Yep. I do also like the line about, it's like, geese, what is it, geese get goosebumps, or we get this, that's right, that type of love, it's kids stuff, it's like chicken pox, and, we've both been vaccinated, and it was like, wow, that rings very differently today.
Yeah.
That
made me go, oh God. I know that. Oh God, retroactive, oh my God, is what my note said.
Yeah, because just for those out there, yes, we are pro-vaccination. Go get yourself freaking vaccinated against all these different things and all of that. We are pro-science, pro-vaccination. You don't like it, get the f*** out of our pod.
All that. We already know all that. But yeah.
So I'm going to my notes here about this scene. There is something wonderfully tragic, almost melancholic about the fact I think Sal has so much feeling. Yeah. And Laverne is like kind of open, like, I'm here. Give this to me. Tell it to me. Express it to me. And it's hard for him to get it out. And it's hard for him to release that. Really, and it's like there's some sort of block. And it almost, I feel like this could lead into like some amazing set in modern times gothic romance, you know, where they go off on a trip together and on their honeymoon, there's a ghost, and the ghost, like, you know, is part of his past and this trauma that has sealed off his feelings, and he has to overcome it. And as he, you know, comes out with a ripped shirt and her in her negligee, he carries her away from the burning house, you know, and all of that. And it's something kind of cool about that, though, that like there is an energy in that performance that is far more nuanced than we've seen in a while for the guest actors on the show.
It's a very reasoned performance. It's a very well-leavened performance. It's a very smart performance. I enjoy the heck out of it. Everything about his return is solid. Of all of the beaux that Laverne had in the past, aside of maybe Norman, aside from maybe maybe Larry Bishop, he's one of the most fun ones to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In the end, and then the girls have their conversation.
Yep, and pillow.
It's a really beautiful conversation. Yeah.
And a pillow.
And the pillow. Yeah. Yeah. In the end, the sister love is still there. That's what's important. In the end, ultimately, they have each other, and that's what's important.
Yep. But yeah, it's a good episode. I just, you know, it's weird. I actually have in my notes, this episode doesn't give me goosebumps either.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, this is a mid-leveler, but there's at least two or three really impactful scenes that really do it for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, on that note, I think that kind of leaves us to ranking time. There's not much else. I mean, I can tell a little bit more about the actors if you would like me to.
Yeah, tell me more about them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Paul Sylvan, he was a long-time working actor since the 1970s. You look at the dude's IMDb, he was busy. He had a love for the theater. As mentioned before, apparently, according to some of the trivia, he was in the original Broadway cast of Jesus Christ Superstar. He trained with Harry Mastrogeorge. He sang with the Thrashers. He was also one of the leads in the one-season wonder Bustin' Loose, which was also co-created by Gans and Rothman. He worked in He ended up working a lot of cop shows: Police Story, The Blue Knight, and The Rockford Files. Either as mostly as like bit parts or a guest spot. He got to be in the Flatbush TV series for an episode, and yes, that is the Lords of Flatbush TV show that did not do very well. Yeah. And after this, he actually has a lot more to go, including Three's Company and Hill Street Blues. And we're gonna be, and also get used to hearing She's the Sheriff, which he also guest starred on, because oh boy, there's a lot of She's the Sheriff connections this time. So I want to come back to Beans Morocco, Mr. Barrows, the chauffeur. So as we mentioned, he was in used cars, but his career was massive. He was a member of the improv group called The Committee in the 1960s San Francisco era. So that was kind of a known thing. He was there. He's the bio on IMDb that someone put up refers to him as a survivor of it. He ended up in Billy Jack, which I think we had mentioned before, because that was part of the many folks in the first 5 seasons that were from Billy Jack. But he pretty much has stayed busy ever since. He was in like an episode of Mary Tyler Moore. He's in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. He's the guy at the cemetery, I think, the gravedigger. He was in an episode of Murphy Brown, 2 episodes of 90s era Matlock. Of course, he was in a Dream On episode. And he even has something now apparently in post-production. So, dude's busy. This dude's still doing it.
Good for him. Good for him.
So Tom Turbovic, he is now 1/6 of the way through his run of the show. I refer to him here as the man, the myth, the director of all 8 episodes of Aliens in the Family. Look that one up. That's an interesting story as to what the hell happened with that one. That was a weird, like, another sci-fi sitcom that, if you're thinking, oh, that sounds like Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, look that up. It's interesting.
Intriguing.
Now, in terms of Mark Rothman, we mentioned that, this is the first time he's had a written by credit since The Bachelor Party, which is episode 2 of the first season. So this guy has not been a sole credited writer for a long time. Now, he obviously worked as a script consultant for like 60-something episodes, which pretty much means, especially as a producer on the show, he probably was there all the time. This guy was all over the place. Before doing this gig, he had also worked on The Odd Couple, which I suspect as a writer on that show, that was where he met Gary. He also was a co-creator of Busting Loose and did 3 episodes. And after Laverne and Shirley, he went on to develop, co-create, and write on She's the Sheriff. which this is the second reference to it. There are more coming. But that covers our sort of behind the scenes and in front of the camera guest star notes for today. Yeah, so this is just, ultimately, coming back to the episode though, it's a case of these are talented people. I do wish it all kind of hit the right notes more regularly, because when it does it very nicely. So, yeah.
Did well. To be honest, it did well. I think this at least, yeah, I think it did well.
Yeah, it's a consistently interesting episode. It just, the high points that are there aren't always.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something missing.
Yeah.
And I know that admittedly like 4 minutes of this episode is cut, because this is like the file that I have for this is like 20 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, in the end, which is fine. In the end, that's fine. I'm gonna put this. You know where I'm gonna put this?
We're putting this.
I'm putting this at roughly a 6. This is like a 6 for me. There's some great stuff. That Laverne and Sal scene is good. The scene with the girls at the end is good. There's some laughs here. It just needs more punch. It's not as lively. It's not my favorite episode of the season. It needs more liveliness to it. There could be something wonderful made of Laverne's desperation. They need to lean more into her desperation to marry this guy. Because he should be everything she wants, but he's just not. He's just dull as a piece of fish, with no seasoning on it. It's just dull.
Yeah. In another show, they would have had a wonderful twist that it turns out he's a serial killer and he's actually killed the last 5 women he's with, but, And
then Laverne survives.
Right.
Laverne is the final girl. Anyway.
Laverne and Shirley would be fantastic final girls, let's be real here.
Yes. Honestly. Yes. Obviously, Lenny is the Xander of the group.
Oh, God. So
Zeppo.
that being said, so I'm gonna actually go for the same. This is a good place for us to sync up. 6. Because the parts that work really nicely. I just wish it did more for me.
Yeah. It's one of those episodes where it's not offensive, it's not awful. It's perfectly competently written. There just need to be more realization, more character depth for Laverne, where she just pings to it and goes, "This is why I'm like this. This is why I feel this way."
Yeah.
And it just doesn't happen. And in the end, it's one of those things where it's all right. It's all right. It is all right, but not the best thing in the world.
It's one that I would shed a tier 1 for if it was lost. I wouldn't celebrate at its demise.
There you go.
But I would not be broken and in mourning for the whole week.
Indeed. It's all right. It's okay. It's stomachable.
It's something to live for. Jesus told me so. Sorry, you said it's all right. It's okay. You knew I was going to go there.
I knew it. I was waiting for it. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Anything else you want to cover?
Nah, there's nothing else I could think of.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll have a quick word from our sponsor, and then we shall get to our post-amble and talk a little bit about what's coming next week. All right, and thank you again, everyone, so much for joining us for Night After Night. And if you would like to know more, you can find us at Night After Night Pod on Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, Patreon, YouTube, and wherever fine podcasts are found. And also the unfine ones, and the ones that are ugly and disgusting, the ones that are really also very terrifying and wicked and destructive upon your soul. Or you can find us at Night After Night PC on Twitter. If you would like to get more directly in touch with us, we keep tabs on that pretty closely, and we also have watch-alongs we try to do every few months, as well as other little tidbits from the fandom community. And it's a good time, and we hope that you have yourselves a great day. And I'm feeling kind of old though, Lisa. What do we have next week with these crazy kids?
Well, next week, Shirley dates a college student and realizes that she's not the spring chicken she once was after attending a frat party with him.
Oh, God. At least she's going to rob the cradle. Or at least she's on a compsognathus and doesn't eat it.
Oh, God. But when she and Laverne are called into service on the dance floor to help, they find out that they're not as old as they think they are. This is teenage loss.
Oh, teenage lust means 9 days of trouble for me. 'Cause I'm gonna have to edit that thing.
9 months of trouble. 9 months.
Also known as Young at Heart, depending on
Yes.
what region, I believe. But yeah,
Yep,
Teenage
yep.
Lust is probably a better title, I think, given that there also are some lusty teenagers that appear later in the episode. All right, well, we'll see
Teenage
you
Lust
next.
is what's on the DVD. Sorry, I wanted to throw that in.
Oh yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But anywho, cool. So we shall see you next time, and just make sure you bring the brewskis.
Hey man, let's get wasted.
Wasted? What, honey? We're not playing Grand Theft Auto here.
Wasted.
Hey, future me, put up the wasted thing from Grand Theft Auto here. Okay, thank you.
Remember, guys, if you get together with someone who you were with before and you felt nothing for them before, don't subject everybody to the same episode again. Do better. You deserve better. Bye, y'all. This is indications for we can replay everybody's mistakes and everybody's happy moments over and over and over again.